So we covered tables in a previous video and why they are important to use in Excel. So in this video, we're going to talk specifically about the use of tables within Visual Basic. So on this table interaction sheet I have here in my example workbook, I've created this basic table, and it's pretty straightforward. It has a few names, their favorite color, their favorite fruit, and the quantity of that fruit that they have. And if I click into this table and go to the Table Design tab up here in my ribbon, we can see that I've given this table a name, in this case, example table. And this name is really important for identifying the table in VBA. So if you're going to follow along with your own table, make sure that you note your table's name. So far as our object hierarchy is concerned, our tables fall under our worksheet object. So we'll need to track this hierarchy through application, identify our workbook, specify our worksheet, and then we can use the list objects property of worksheets to find our table. And the list objects method is how we would reference any of the objects that live on a particular worksheet. And tables are identified as objects within VBA, so that's what we're going to use. So if we go ahead and open up our VBA window by going to Developer, and then Visual Basic, we can go ahead and insert a new module. And let's give ourselves some space here. We'll go ahead and we'll create one public sub, and we'll just call this new table code. Something like that. Give ourselves some room. So now we're going to go ahead and type here worksheets and then table interactions, because that's the name of the sheet that we want to look at. Then we'll use the period to move a step further into our object hierarchy, list objects, and then we'll give it the name of our table, which is example table, or you can use whatever the table name is that you're referencing. Now we're going to put a period again to move again one step further into the object hierarchy. This time we'll say range select. So range in this case is going to select the entire range of the table, and select just means we're going to highlight that particular range. And so we'll step through this line by line. I'm just using select as a visual for what this particular range property here is going to represent. So we'll go ahead and make another line for table interactions, worksheet. We'll look at the objects on that worksheet and reference our example table. And this time, instead of saying range, we're going to say data body range dot select. And this time, data body range will only select the data of the table. It'll leave out things like the header or the total row. So if we wanted to reference specifically the header row, we can do that as well. So again, we'll follow through the same hierarchy, through list objects, name our table, and this time we'll say header, row, range, select. And lastly, if we wanted to represent our totals row, we could do that as well. Similar to how we've done everything else. Reference our sheet, reference our table, and then totals row range dot select. So if we break this down, I've specified our worksheet to be the table interactions worksheet, and we're letting VBA assume our Excel application and our example workbook. But if you wanted to be safe, or if you had multiple workbooks open at the same time, you might want to specify the name of your workbook specifically. Then we tell VBA to look at all of the objects that are going to be on that sheet and identify the one that's called example table, which is what we've named our table. We're then going to say the range of that table, or the data body range, or the header range, the total row range, whatever it is that we want to look at. And we've told VBA here to just select, just highlight that data for us. So what I'm going to do is make each of these half screen, and then I'm going to step through this code line by line. And the way we do that is with the F8 key on your keyboard, or use debug and step into. So now we'll hit F8. Now after we hit F8 one more time, we should see VBA run this particular line of code. And we can see now VBA has selected this entire table range. It includes this header row, it includes all of the data in the table, and it includes this totals row down here. If we hit F8 one more time, we should see it change to only select the data body here. And we can see it's done that. We've only got the data of this table, we don't have the totals row, and we don't have the header row. This time we should see only the header row get selected, and next we should see only the totals row get selected. And then hit F8 one more time to end your subroutine. So we can reference these different parts of the table, and there are different scenarios where you might want only the header row. Maybe you're making the font size bigger. You might want only the total row. Maybe you're changing whether it's bold or regular text. Or you might only want to know the data itself and where that data lives. So there's different scenarios where you might use range versus data body range versus header row or totals row range, but it's good to know how to use all of them. Now the main thing that we want to do with tables is deal with the table's rows or columns, and mainly we want to add, delete, or count those rows or columns. Similar to how we can reference a row or column on the worksheet by using a number, we can do the same thing with tables, but it's important to note that the number we reference will be the row number relative to the table itself. So if we look at this name here, Emma, and we look at this row, on the worksheet it's row 5. We can see 5 is highlighted here. This is row 5 on our full worksheet. But with respect to the table, it's only going to be row 3 because it's the third row in. 1, 2, third row. So when we identify this row, we need to make sure it's properly tracked through our object hierarchy and then is relative to the table and not to the entire worksheet. So we're going to give ourselves some more room in our VBA code. And next, we're going to create a table variable. Just like we've done before with our worksheets and workbooks, it can be really tedious to try to type out this worksheets, table interactions, list objects, example table every time when we know we're going to continue to reference this table over and over. So what I'm going to do is create a variable here. I've called it example table, little extbl here, and I'm going to create this as a list object. So just like we did with the workbooks and worksheets, we're going to use the set command since this isn't something like an integer or a string that's really storing a variable. Rather, it's an object and we're storing that object path. So we're going to set example table equal to worksheets table interactions dot list objects example table. So now, rather than having to type this out every single time, I can just use extbl to represent my particular table. And if you were referencing the application or your workbook as well, you could also put that at the front of this line here. We'll give ourselves a little bit more room again. And this time we're going to learn how to add and delete columns and rows. So I'm going to type our variable that we're using to represent our table. And then I'm going to type list rows dot add. Now the list rows property here means that we're dealing with these individual rows of our table, and specifically VBA knows to list these out by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So in this case we've told it we're not necessarily referencing any specific row, but we do want to add a new row. We can do the same thing with our columns. In this case, list columns instead of list rows, and add. And again, this represents the same thing. If we go to our table, list columns will recognize in VBA, this is column 1, 2, 3, and 4. In this case, we're not referencing any specific column, rather we are trying to add a new one. The next thing we can do is delete. So we'll just delete those same rows and columns that we just added. So in this case, I am going to specify a specific row. So I'm going to use my open parentheses. I'm going to feed it the number of the row that I want to work with and then close parentheses. So in this case, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 rows. So that row that I just added up here should be row 7. And this time I'm going to use .delete instead of .add. I'll do the same thing with the columns. And in this case, it should be column 5. And that's because we have 1, 2, 3, 4 columns already, so we'll be adding this 5th column. And the last thing we'll look at is counting the rows and columns, which is probably the thing you'll do most often with tables in VBA. So we'll create 2 integers. We'll create an integer c for our columns and an integer r for our rows. And then we're going to use c equals the set value of c, example table, list columns, and instead of add or delete, we're going to say count. So again, we haven't really specified a particular column that we want to look at because really we want to look at all of the columns, and in this case we want to count them. And we'll do the same thing with our rows as the variable r. So we'll use list rows.count, and the last thing we'll do is create a little message box down here that says rows and R, and VBCRLF for a new line, and then we'll say columns, and C. And we've built message boxes in the past that we've kind of explained some of this. If you want more information on this particular code or why we're using these ampersands, that'll be in the string manipulation video. But to walk through this really quickly, the and signs here combine different text strings. So in this case, we have a text string here that we specified as rows. We know it's text because it's surrounded in these quotations here. And we've told it, we want you to combine that text with whatever's stored in this particular variable, in this case, the number of rows that we have. Then we've used the and sign again to tell VBA we're not finished building this full string. We want to keep going. VBCRLF is a new line. It's a code that just means like hitting enter on your keyboard, just providing an extra space. So on a new line, we're going to combine that with the text columns, which again, we've surrounded in quotes here to represent that it is text. And the last thing we'll do is combine that with the C variable here, which is the number of columns that we have in our table. So we're going to go ahead and run this, and again I'm going to do this line by line so that we can get a feel for what each of these lines in the code does to our table. So I'm going to click anywhere in my routine here, and I'm going to click F8 on my keyboard. So again, we should see this select the entire range of our table. Then we should see it select only the data in our table, moving to the header row of our table, and moving to the totals row in our table. So we've just set the variable for extbl, so we don't have to continue to type out that particular object path every time. So this time we should see a row get added. And we can see here I do actually have a new row in my particular table that I wanted to look at. Next we should see a new column get added. And we can see I do indeed have a new column over here. Now we're going to go ahead and delete this row that we just added. And we can see that has disappeared. And next we're going to delete the column that we just added. And that's gone as well now. So the last thing we'll do is count the number of columns, count the number of rows, and then display that in a message box. So we should expect somewhere around 6 rows and 4 columns. And it looks like that's what we've got. 6 rows, 4 columns. And we'll click OK, and then hit F8 one more time to end your subroutine. In this video, we talked about tables and how we can interact with them in VBA. We covered the different ranges of the table we might want to use, as well as the basics of adding, deleting, and counting the number of rows and columns in the table. In a previous video, we talked about why tables are important to use in Excel, so it's equally important to know how to reference them in VBA using the methods we covered in this video.